University of Cumbria is the only university which is placed in the UNESCO heritage. Is that right?
So Cumbria as a location is a really, really beautiful place to live. And that's not just me being biased because I'm from Cumbria. There are many, many people that will agree. It's a huge hub for tourism.
What are the eligibility criteria in terms of English and in terms of the minimum percentage of marks in the classroom?
Our undergraduate nursing provision, students would need 60% in 10th and in 12th, including...
I'll come to Cumbria. I think I'll get a good discount from you.
I mean, you could always apply for the merit scholarships.
Yes, absolutely.
What are the more employable courses that leads to employability within the UK and outside the UK?
Yeah, so I mean, Cumbria has quite a broad range of programs available, so I won't talk about all of them.
So that is possible.
That is also possible, yes.
Okay, that's great. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, so there are multiple reasons why students should look at a foundation. It's just, I think, a lack of information at this point that's sort of holding students back.
That's why these podcasts are there.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why we're talking about it.
Hello everyone, my name is Mudit Pandey and I'm the co-founder of My Admission Card and the president of Sevi Foundation. I'm glad to have Miss Megan and Miss Shweta here today in our studio from University of Cumbria and Malvern House today. Hi madam, how are you?
Hi, I'm great, thanks. Really good to be here.
So Miss Megan, can you just introduce yourself to the audience first before we go into more about asking about the University of Cumbria location and all this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Megan. I am from the University of Cumbria. I'm one of the international development officers at the university. So my area of responsibility is really helping our South Asian students as a priority for accessing education in the UK and specifically at the University of Cumbria.
Okay. And Ms. Shweta, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you, Mudit.
So I just want to know, what does exactly the role of Malvern House when it comes to sending students from India?
Yeah, so...
What is Malvern House?
No, absolutely. A good question, Mudit. So Malvern International is basically a pathway provider for students who are actually looking to study at universities and complete their degree or their master's courses, but are not actually eligible for direct entry. For that matter, they are not able to qualify for a direct entry. And what we do is basically facilitate that through our pathway courses, where students are then able to start either a year earlier or in their first year, study their pathway programs and then move on to the university, progress onto the university and complete that.
Okay. So I'll come back to that exactly what
Absolutely.
It is a bit later on after knowing about the university, because it sounds very interesting. So that means I'm just in a layman's language.
Yeah.
If the university requirement is like 60% and I've got 59%, I can still fulfill my dream through you. Is that what it means?
100%. Yeah, this is the partnership we have with University of Cumbria at the moment. Okay. If students are really interested in, I'll let Megan speak about the courses that they have. They have fabulous course spread. But any students who want to study those courses but are not able to qualify for direct entry, they always come to us from our pathway courses, and they're still able to
this is very important, because a lot of time the marks doesn't reflect the exact capability of a person.
And I'm an avid believer of students' potential when it comes to students not being able to. A lot of us get worried. I'm worried of being on the camera right now. So performance anxiety is real, and I can imagine students going through that. So which is why I've been very passionate about talking about pathways.
Very true. And it happens with a lot of students when they go for the examinations, because a lot of pressure came from the peer and then parents, and all these P's stand on the head of...
that's a real thing.
And the expectations.
Absolutely.
Is what killed the student.
I think one of the things we're most excited about as well with this partnership is that it is opening more opportunities for students. As you've said, not having quite the entry requirements that you would need for a direct programme. Now we've got this partnership, we've got more doors being open for students to still be able to come to the University of Cumbria. Yeah.
So I've heard like University of Cumbria is the only university which is placed in the UNESCO heritage. Is that right?
That is.
And what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so Cumbria as a location is a really, really beautiful place to live. And that's not just me being biased because I'm from Cumbria. There are many, many people that will agree. It's a huge hub for tourism. So yes, we are the only UK university that has one of our campuses in a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So that's the Lake District National Park, a massive global centre for tourism. And I would really recommend to anybody watching to just have a Google of that area because it's truly beautiful. I mean, you've visited there as well.
It's one of those, it's a very popular British tourist destination anyway, but it's probably not as well known for the rest of the world, is because a lot of people don't venture outside of London, to be honest. Let's be honest about that.
They get stuck to London.
But if people only just Google the images of Lake District, they will know what we're talking about. And the Ambleside campus of University of Cumbria is very close to that.
How far is it from London? Just for the information.
You can get there on, probably train would be the best place from our campuses. So there's a couple of different ones, so depending on where you're at. If you're in Lancaster, probably around 3 hours. If you're in Carlisle, it's maybe 4 to 4.5 hours. By car or by bus, it could take a little longer depending on traffic. But yeah, we are very well connected. And on the location side of things, I think it's important to really think about the experience that you'll get there, because those cities of Lancaster and Carlisle, whilst they are, yes, smaller than somewhere like London, they do provide, as Shweta said, you know, that really British feel, real immersion into British culture. If you have that stereotypical image in your head of like the cobbled streets and the castle and the old city walls, that's exactly what it is like in those cities. But as I've said, you are well connected to the larger cities, you know, like Manchester, for those football fans that are out there that want to go and see a game at Old Trafford. That's very popular for our students. But yes, in terms of the Lake District area and our Ambleside campus, it's very, very unique, and it provides a really fantastic experience for students on those outdoor courses and more science-based programs to have the immersion into the environment that they're studying.
So doesn't it make it a more safe place, being a UNESCO site, a more safer for a student?
Yeah, I mean, all of our campuses, to be honest, are incredibly safe. The region that we live in has a very low crime rate. Our campuses, for example, are publicly open, so we don't require having that security as gated campuses, for example. On the Lancaster campus, there's a beautiful green area in the park where there'll be dog walkers throughout the day. Of course, all of the accommodation has tag-in security for that extra element of comfort, but the cities themselves are very, very safe. Despite the fact that there's mass tourism there, you know, it is a very safe place for students to live.
How much is student friendly? Student friendly means to say when it comes to the student coming from different ethnic origin. How much friendly is it for food, for accommodation for them? So how is it easily available accommodation within the campus, or you partnered with someone outside the campus to provide them the accommodation? When it comes to food, is non-veg, veg both are available? If yes, within the campus, if no, are there the shops nearby from where they can buy the same stuff?
Yeah, good question, and I think it's important that students do have that comfort that whilst they're immersing themselves into the British culture, we obviously want to make sure that they feel that they're not too far away from what's familiar. So yes, those cities do have fantastic international food cuisines and scenes, restaurants, international food markets, international food shops where you can access all of the types of foods and things that you would find at comfort from home. The accommodation-wise is available on campus as well as private accommodation, and we've got a lot of approved partners with the university for students that do want to secure that private accommodation. But we would encourage students to stay on campus in their first year of study because it will really help integrate them into our community. 100%. They're amongst other international students. But you mentioned there about what is the feel and welcoming nature for the students. Cumbria is in Lancaster, for example, there is a lot of international students. We obviously have other universities in that city, so there's quite a vibrant international student community, and also an international community as a whole. A lot of students choose to stay in Cumbria after they've graduated to continue to work, for example. So there is that diversity. But what's also nice for Cumbria in particular is that our international community is not purely South Asian students. We actually have a lot of Canadian students.
You do.
We have European students, Chinese students.
That's a truly international campus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think one thing it's important to highlight about the accommodation as well, for my students who I'm obviously talking to for pathways, I'm very curious about and very, very interested in knowing about the accommodation there, or sort of talking about it, is also because of the affordability it gives. Like the accommodation is really affordable. If you're looking at, I mean, a lot of students don't realize that although London is vibrant in all of those senses, it's also very expensive, and a lot of students don't realize that when you're looking at accommodation, for that matter, at the University of Cumbria, you're looking at £103 a weekly that's that's really
that's
cheap.
The university accommodation, right?
That's the university accommodation, and a lot of the bills are taken care of in that. Students get that relief of not having to worry about what to take care of, what do I have to, especially for an 18-year-old student who starts their studies, doesn't want to worry about bills just yet, and have to worry about, oh my God, where's my calendar of bills? And, I have to mark my dates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's
very important. If you don't have to worry about the bills, the thing that you can concentrate on is in your studies.
Agreed.
Being an international student and not living into the university accommodation is hard.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time the bills, you're thinking about the bills, you're shivering, but you're still thinking about the bills. So it's very important that you live into the university accommodation, especially for the first year. That's good to hear. So my next question to you, what are the popular courses that University of Cumbria actually offers? And what are the more employable courses that leads to employability within the UK and outside the UK?
Yeah, so I mean, Cumbria has quite a broad range of programs available, so I won't talk about all of them. But we do have courses in business, of course, science and environment, health provision. We have computer science, and we also have an education institute as well. So whether students are looking for, that high-flying career in business, whether their passion lies in healthcare and patient care, or teacher training, for example, there really is a program for everybody. But one program I think is particularly relevant to talk about for our institution is our BSc nursing program. So this program is really, really exciting. We've got fantastic facilities on this program, and there are 4 different options the students can choose, different specialisms such as adult nursing, children's nursing, mental health nursing, or learning disabilities. And what's really great about this program is that it is pre-registration. So what that means is that by the time the student finishes that program, they will be eligible to register with the NMC, the Nursing Midwifery Council, which is the accredited professional body that is required in order to be a practicing nurse in the UK, but also it's internationally recognised as well. So this program, for those students that are interested in the career in healthcare, in nursing in particular, is going to equip them with everything that they need to go and then enter the job market immediately when they graduate as a practicing nurse. So I think that is a particularly interesting course for the students.
Yeah, I think from India we do get a lot of interest for students who want to go and study nursing. I think one of the things that the University of Cumbria does really well is this particular program, is because a lot of universities in the UK do offer a nursing program. I find that the way the university works with the local trusts to make sure that these students eventually are able to be, are able to find employment. They're making sure that they're bridging the gaps with the NHS at the moment in the region where, they're struggling with the nursing, profession and finding trained nurses. I think that's a very important factor to consider when students are looking for a nursing program, because I don't think a lot of universities can boast about the fact that they're working so closely with the local NHS to make sure that these students are eligible for an employment once they've completed their program. And it, like Megan said earlier, I think the pre-registration is a very important factor, because then the students have actually completed their hours of work, the practice work that they're supposed to do before becoming a nurse, alongside their curriculum, which means as soon as they graduate, they're basically ready to start working.
Okay, that's good to hear. But at the same time, what is the eligibility criteria specific to Indian student for this? And do you ask for some work experience from the student? And if yes, no. So what are the eligibility criteria in terms of English and in terms of the minimum percentage of marks in the class 12?
Yeah, so for our undergraduate nursing provision, students would need 60% in 10th and in 12th, including maths and English. Now, we do accept an IELTS waiver for our nursing programme as well, which is quite unique. you would need to have achieved 80% in 12th grade English in order to receive the IELTS waiver for that programme, but we would accept 80% and above. Of course, if they're struggling to meet those academic entry requirements, then we also have the option through the pathways.
Yeah, so then they can choose a foundation entry where we will then accept them with a 50% in their grade 12. We will then be able to support their studies across that 1 year to make sure that they're prepared to start the university, in their first year. But at the same time, Megan, I think we should speak a little bit about the interview that the students have to face, because I know students who complete their foundation eventually have to go through the nursing interview before they start a program. And I think we were just talking about this before. I think
this is not joint CES.
It is a joint. It is an integrated CAS. So the program is basically designed, and because it's a pre-registered program, I think the program requires students to understand what they're getting into before they start the program. And the interview is basically supposed to just try and find out whether the student understands the kind of commitment it takes to do a nursing degree. It is not there to analyze whether the student is academically qualified or has the right intentions, none of that. It's just, and I think Megan probably would be able to explain.
What is the success rate of this interview as of now?
So, just coming on to what Shweta was saying on the interview, so just to be clear, this is a very different interview to a PCI credibility interview, for example. This is not around anything to do with your student visa, none of that. This is purely based with our faculty team. So the style of the interview will first be in the morning of the day of your interview. You'll have a group session with the other candidates who are within the interview, and then you will get a one-on-one slot in the afternoon. Now, what's required here is that you display a sound understanding of some of those NMC values. So that's the Nursing Midwifery Council, which is the accrediting body for this programme, and that's the professional body as well that you will be registering with at the end of your programme to be a practicing nurse. So because of that, a large part of this programme, it is a career-based programme. So what we want to assess is that you really understand the demands of this career, to make sure that you are understanding what it means specifically to be a nurse in the UK and in the NHS. So these are things like expressing your understanding of values like respect, integrity, fairness, those types of things. So my advice really would be for the interview for this programme is do your research, make sure you're confident in what is the NMC, do I know what that is, do I know what these values mean, because you will get asked those questions. And also, do you understand the layout of the programme? So it's 50% theory and it's 50% practice. And on the practice placement side of things, so 50% of that course you will be out in real life clinical settings, in hospitals, maybe in residential care, with real patients, and you will have to travel to those placements. So we want to really assess that the student knows that they're not expecting to be in the classroom all of the time. They are expecting that hands-on course, they're prepared, they're committed. So yeah, that's my advice really for those programs. It's not about testing your knowledge of biology. It's about understanding your values of the program and of being a nurse.
So how important role an SOP plays when it comes to a program like nursing?
Yeah, that's equally important as well. Particularly reiterating everything I've just said really, in the personal statement and the SOP, we certainly don't want to see generic answers. Because this is such a specialist programme, it's leading to a very specific outcome. We want to hear that you are passionate about that you are committed to that career, not just sort of general answers. And we know it's probably worth noting now that the rise of AI is certainly providing us so many benefits in the world. I love using AI for certain things, but just make sure that you are using that in the correct way, and certainly not to provide too much input on the personal statement. We want that to come from you, so just make sure you're using AI in the correct way. Okay,
so do you still do train the student, or during the orientation time tell them how to do it, or tell them how you can got them if they plagiarize or do? Is there a provision of that?
In terms of the academic standard? Yeah, absolutely. So we have the full international welcome registration. So part of that is obviously welcoming you to the campus. It's introducing you to your tutors, to your peers. We'll have lots of fun events. but also it's important that you understand the academic standards and regulations at the university. So we have a full team there that can give you really clear guidance on how to use AI, how to use it compliantly, in a way that will not put you at risk of plagiarism, because it's important to know that maybe the way that you study here in India is probably going to be quite different to the style in the UK.
It is going to be different. No. And a lot of, as much as I don't like to admit it, want someone else thinking for us.
Yes.
And AI is able to do that. I think it's made students' lives a lot easier when they don't really have to think about a lot of stuff. And I think it's important to point out that it's good for a student to, like Megan said, it's important for a student to sort of understand the importance of AI and how it's going to help them, but not essentially to replace their thinking. And that not just reflects academically. It's the same way when it comes to SOPs. It's the same when it comes to a lot of things that they do in general, because then what we're doing is we're outsourcing thinking to someone else and reducing our brain capacity. It's like using calculators, not doing the math mentally. You know what you mean? We've always done that. We've always had to sort of add 2 + 2 in our school, and that's what it is. And it should keep your brain oiled up all the time.
So I just want to know a bit more about Malvern House now.
Yes, absolutely.
So if somebody has came to Cumbria, just say Mudit as a student, and I've applied it, but I've scored only 59%, or just say the real 55.4%, make it more real. What would be the process now? Will the university send my application to you, or how does it work exactly?
It works both ways. So one of the beauty of having partners like yourself here in the region is for students to, if they don't understand this themselves, whether they qualify for the university directly or not, and if they want to make an application to the university, see if they qualify for the university direct admission. It's great that they apply directly to the university, find out their eligibility. If they're not eligible, we will usually, that application will be cascaded to us, and then the team, our admissions team at Malvern International, will basically process those applications to see whether these students qualify for either of, let's say it's an undergraduate application, we'll see if they qualify for a foundation entry or an international year 1 entry. The other way to go. What is the difference? I will absolutely speak about that. The other way to go about the application is, if they come and talk to you and you already know the eligibility criteria, you straight up guide them to apply for the pathways instead of, sort of going through the university admissions process. The sort of difference between foundation and international year 1 is very simple. It is basically on what the student has done previously. If the student has completed their grade 12 but have just marginally missed, like we've discussed, the entry requirement for the university admission, they usually are considered for a year 1 entry. And a year 1 as a program is essentially designed for the student to still complete all of their requirements of modules that are taught in the first year of a degree, but at the same time they're supported to make sure that whatever they've sort of lacked or they sort of need help with, that they've scored previously low in or sort of are struggling with at the moment, we sort of support them through that in the first year in an international year 1, and from there students and we sort of prepare them in a way that they are able to successfully progress onto the second year of the degree. And
so the duration doesn't change?
The duration of the degree doesn't change. With an international year 1, you're still studying for 3 years. You just have a different entry point than the direct first year entry, but you eventually end up in the same place as another student who's joined the first year at the university. The international foundation year is for students who don't actually qualify even for international year 1 because they need additional help. They've really struggled in their past qualification, and that is the program that will add another year to the 3-year degree. So it will be a 4-year degree for these students. But I've seen a lot of students who've not completed their year 12. But they've just completed their year 11th, and either they've not gone to their 12th standard, they've not sort of taken that exam, or they've just completed their 10th or 11th and they've just decided they want to go study somewhere else. I don't want to, a lot of students do that, especially students who've now started realizing that the foundation is a way of saving another year of studying in India. So a lot of students who've completed their 10th grade would just want to do a year of foundation and move on to the first year of the degree instead of completing 2 years in India.
So that is possible.
That is also possible, yes.
Okay, that's great. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, so there are multiple reasons why students should look at a foundation. It's just, I think, a lack of information at this point that's sort of holding students back.
That's why these podcasts are there.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why we're talking about it. But at the same time, like you mentioned, if you're looking for, let's say, a master's degree to do, we also have an entry point where students don't necessarily qualify for a master's degree directly. And then what we do is we bring them onto a pre-master's program depending on the duration based on their eligibility, and we let them start their degree. We let them start their pre-masters followed by their masters and complete their whole course, so that then they're ready for the world, to take on the world basically.
So Shweta ji, as I was talking about the entry requirement and everything when it comes to foundation program, and as you said, like in this foundation year saves a year if somebody decided after 12th. But is it the normal process of interview and things that the person still have to face in terms of PCI, or any interview that you also conduct before taking any student?
Yeah, so we do actually conduct a PCI interview for students, just making sure that we are compliant with the UKVI requirements, and making sure that the students understand if they are eventually interviewed during when they've applied for their visa, they should know what to expect in terms of questions and to be fair, a lot of students do know what course they're going for, what they're going to be studying. It's basically a checkbox where students have to make sure that they know the courses they're going for, what their long-term career goals are, and whether they're prepared for that. What we do is, before the PCI interview, we have a conversation with the student, and this is I think it's purely because we conduct our interviews on Enrollee, and these are recorded interviews.
Yeah, it's recorded.
For recorded interviews, I am very conscious talking to like a screen. So you can imagine how students must feel about that. And because it's not an in-person interview, we sort of give them guidelines based on, there are questions going to be that are going to pop up on the screen. You just have to basically read them and answer to your best ability, and not to be worried about, whether they're getting recorded properly, things like that. A lot of students get conscious, so we have to help them sort of understand what to expect. So we do that bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming to you now, what is the average fees of the university? And the most important point a lot of Indian audience wants to hear is scholarship.
Yes, absolutely. So for our next intake, the 26-27 intake, our fees will be £16,000 for standard programmes, and nearly all of our programmes do have scholarships available. So there are a couple of programmes that are above that initial tuition fee, things like pre-registration healthcare that we talked about, but our fees are still sitting at quite a good position once you factor in the scholarships. So earlier we talked about the BSc nursing programme. That programme has a £4,000 per year discount.
So it's per year?
Per year, for every year on the programme, and it's an automatic discount. So providing that the student can meet the minimum entry requirements and including the English language, then we would apply that scholarship. So importantly, if you are borderline and you're like 1 percentage point below and we offered you a place, then unfortunately you wouldn't be able to get the scholarship, but for all of the cases you would. Other scholarships we have are like a postgraduate scholarship of £2,000 discount per year. We also have our MBA scholarship of £2,500, and that programme in particular is available in our January intake, which I can talk more about on that. And then we do have some merit scholarships as well available this year. So these are applied for scholarships, and the application process is going to be launched and announced very soon. So we have a £5,000 postgraduate scholarship and a £2,500 undergraduate merit scholarship. So automatic ones are there, but also for those highly qualified students, then we also have the merit scholarships available.
Okay, so just one question to you. If somebody is going through you, I mean to say year one so are those students going to get a scholarship for the second year or not? So if he's still performing very well in the first year, providing.
So through the pathway programs. Yeah, so as I said, that scholarship information is kind of hot off the press. We've just had the final headline confirmation. We are now finalising those T's and C's and the exact details of how it will work with progression pathways and our partners, and also for the progression on the direct programmes as well. So it's coming, but that information is kind of hot off the press right now.
Okay, what is the graduate employability rate of the university? Because India is a ROI-based market. Though I didn't like the word ROI because it's not a plot that I'm buying. It's not that I'm investing into. But the Indian market is ROI. Is the word that got stuck into the parents' mind. So when I asked this question, like, what is the employability rate for the graduate employability rate of the university?
Yeah, the topic of ROI is an interesting one, and I think we know for all the parents out there, this is important. You know, you're investing a significant amount of finances and also the time of your child to go overseas, and it's important that you've got the confidence that this is actually going to lead to a career, because ultimately, why else are we, you know, investing in this journey if it's not going to lead to a successful outcome? So Cumbria has actually performed exceptionally well at getting graduates into jobs for a very long time. Most recently, and in fact for the last number of years, we've held this rating at the same place. So we're the first in the Northwest and we're top 10 in the UK for graduates into employment, with 97% of our graduates securing employment or further study after they've graduated. And I think the reason for that is there's a couple of reasons, but one is because, first of all, the quality of teaching that we have. We've talked a little bit about the smaller class sizes, that community feel that you have at Cumbria, and that really comes across in the academic learning, because our tutors are able to have one-on-one interactions, to not just give them the programme and academic content, but actually support them to develop those wider skills, the employability, perhaps interview practice, all of that additional support, so that they're not just leaving with a degree certificate. They actually have a wide range of other skills, and they develop their independence as well throughout the programme. So I think the quality of teaching comes into it. But again, Shweta, you were talking earlier about some of our partners that we have as an institution and our links to industry. That really, really supports our students as well, because whether it's through an internship, placement that's embedded into the programme, or nursing with the local trusts, or whether it is just having access to the academics that are also involved heavily in industry, it means that we've got that connection to employers. So again, there's not that sort of disconnect between the academic learning and the employment. It's very much integrated, and most of our programs are co-designed with industry experts, because the career is what we really focus on for our students.
Okay, great. So my next question is to you, Ms. Shweta, regarding in terms of a student while applying for a visa. Just say if I'm applying for a foundation course, so the amount that I need to show into my account, one is from the government for that 9 months, plus the tuition fees of the first year. So that foundation fees will apply, or foundation plus the first year fees will apply?
And that is a good question, Mudit. It's very confusing for students who, or even for counselors for that matter, who not actually a counselor student for a pathway, to confuse that with what exactly do I need to show as money, because a lot of us forget that the CASs that we have, like with the University of Cumbria, all of our programs are covered under an integrated CAS, which means same as a degree program where you get a CAS for 3 years.
It's very safe. Integrated CAS is very safe.
Correct. But even for a degree program, if they have a CAS for 3 years, they usually just show the first year expenses. It's the exact same thing. So they only show the foundation tuition fee and to living expenses. So anything that they've paid to us as a deposit gets deducted out of the tuition fees. The remaining of it has to be shown in the student's account, and obviously the living expenses have to be there as well. But that's the only amount that they have to show for a foundation program.
So do you accept the loan letter from the banks when it comes to the show money university before issuing the CAS?
For the pathways or for the...
For both.
If I take that one, it's yes, we do accept loans from students. It's a regular student loan, education loan that we get. Depending on which bank it's been, obviously, we obviously accept all of this. All of the RBI approved ones are fine. And I think a lot of students come into problem when a lot of the T's and C's are not properly mentioned on the loan letter. But if all of that is in place, making sure the university name, the course name, the amount that is required in terms of tuition fees, all of that's mentioned correctly. What is the tenure of the loan? What are the disbursement sort of rules laid out by the bank? If all of that is mentioned, usually a loan letter doesn't become a problem, and it could potentially cover all of the living expenses and the remainder of the tuition fees. So students actually don't have to show any other documentation as under their funding for visas.
Okay, got it. Thanks for that. So Megan, is there any special course that you want to mention here?
Yeah, I mean,
Before we just sign off from our podcast, is there anything special in terms of course apart from nursing that you want to mention?
Yeah, I think it's probably worth talking a little bit about our business school. As we've talked about briefly, we do have a January intake, which is fast approaching, so there's still time for that. So if you're somebody that's really interested in a leadership position in business, maybe you're an early career professional looking to further your skills, develop that higher level management as a CEO or managing director, then we have an MBA program and an MSc International Management program at the postgraduate level. So they're available in January and September. And we talked a little bit earlier about the overall graduate outcomes for our university. More recently, we've actually been ranked as the #1 university in the UK for the number of CEOs and managing directors that we produce. So what that means for the students is, of course, if you're pursuing an MBA or an MSc International Management program, your ambition is to secure a leadership, high-flying career most of the time, right? That coming back to the return on investment, that's what you're looking for. So with that statistic and with that ranking now, we've really got the evidence to show that we're helping our graduates get the right type of jobs for what they have invested into. So they're great programs. The MBA does need 2 years of work experience. Now, that doesn't have to be specifically as a manager. Perhaps you've had a family business that you've got exposure to and you've learned a lot over the years. Maybe you have had more of a technical role. So let's say you've been an engineer. You haven't been a manager, but you have been informing the decision-making process and being involved in that. We would consider those cases as well. So just make sure that you write that in your SOP. Tell us about your experiences. What have you learned? And how does that feed into your understanding of business operations? But of course, if you haven't got that experience, we'd recommend you go for MSc International Management. Both of those programs are going to lead you to a very similar outcome. And I think they're probably the most notable ones to mention.
I've done MSc Management, so I still have to do an MBA. So if I'll come to Cumbria, I think I'll get a good discount from you.
I mean, you could always apply for the merit scholarships.
Yes, absolutely.
So thanks a lot to Ms. Megan and Ms. Shweta for coming into our show today. I mean, like being the student about the University of Cumbria. So we have a culture. Before you go, you want a 1-minute message from both of you to students who are aspiring to study abroad.
Yeah, Megan, do you want to go?
Sure, absolutely. I guess really my advice to you as you embark on this journey and as you begin to think about your future studies, your future career, is really take the time to research and think about not just the programme, but where you will live. We've talked today about the location of the University of Cumbria and what sort of student experience that's going to bring to you. So explore your options, make sure you really are confident in the decisions that you are making, and also be open-minded, right? The University of Cumbria, maybe this is the first time you have heard of our university. Take the time to understand what's different about it, what will that bring to you, and just make sure that you are happy that the choices you're making are really going to lead you to that long-term goal rather than just the next thing. What's the final destination for you? That would be my piece of advice, and really I hope that today's been useful, and I hope that you feel confident in everything that the University of Cumbria has to offer.
That's a good message. I don't know if I can top that. But just for all those students out there who think if they've not scored well enough in grade 12 and that their life's over, that their career's over and their student journey's over, I hate to disagree, but because there are so many options that you can explore, and the whole point of having a pathway course or sort of going through a pathway course is so that students can actually get options to still study in a university where they've always wanted to study, a course they've always wanted to study, but they don't get the opportunity to do that. with University of Cumbria, we work closely to make sure students who are really aspiring to study at the university but haven't had the chance to do it because they've not got the right academic scores, they've not got the right English language scores, or in general they don't feel confident to join a university internationally because they don't understand the curriculum, they don't understand what the expectations are. I think for those students, we are here to help. And please explore what pathways are is going to be my message, so that you don't give up on your career ambitions.
That's a great message. Thanks a lot to both of you for coming here today. Because the student motivation is most important.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Yes,
Mudit.
thank
It's been
you.
a really
Thanks a lot
great
for
show
coming.
today.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.